Hey guys, I'm going to take you through a body limber today. This will be great if you've been stuck at your desk all day, or you could also use it as a warm-up before a HIIT session. All you need is a little bit of space around you and your phone or a stopwatch to use as a timer. We're going to start with some neck casts, so some controlled neck circles. I'll talk you through the rep and then we're going to go through it together for 60 seconds after that. You're going to start standing, reach your hands to the floor, and then we're going to tuck our chin to the chest, draw it up along your clavicle, look over your shoulder. When you can't go any further, you're going to side bend, bring that ear down, then look up and behind you. As you do that, rotate over the other shoulder, bring your ear down and chin to the chest. We're going to go one to the right, one to the left, just alternating, working at your own pace. So tuck that chin in and then draw it up along your clavicle, look over your shoulder, and then rotate as you come through there. We're going to try and keep the rest of our body nice and still, so we don't want any movement through your shoulders. Once you hit the center, you just reverse, go in the opposite direction. We're going to make this motion slow and controlled, and we're going to try and keep the same speed the entire way through. So we don't want to rush through one part and then get stuck somewhere else. See if you can make that circle a little bit bigger now. Still keeping the rest of your body nice and still. Good work, guys. We've got 15 seconds to go, so you might fit one more in each direction. Good. Try and hit all corners, just finishing that last one off. Once your chin hits your chest, you can just finish it up there. Nice work. From there, we're going to move into cast for thoracic, so for the upper part of your spine. It'll be very similar motion to the last one. We're going to do this one in a kneeling position though. So if you're comfortable, sit back onto your heels. If you're not comfortable sitting back onto your feet, you can come into a tall kneeling position. For this one, we're going to bring our hands across our shoulders, and then we're going to roll forward, curl ourselves forward through that spine, trying not to move through the lower back. Then we're going to rotate over one side, bring the shoulder down towards your hip. We're going to look up, arch, and extend through that upper part of your spine, rotate to the other side, then side bend, and come back around. Just like with the neck ones, we're going to go one to the right, one to the left, just alternating directions. We're going to go for 60 seconds. So get yourself ready, and I'll pop the timer on now. Hands across your chest, then curl yourself forward, rotate, shoulder down to your hip, and then extend through that upper back as you rotate to the other side. Bring the shoulder down to your hips and round forward, and then reverse. Feel free to go at your own pace. You don't have to keep up with mine. Just try and make that speed nice and consistent. As you do this, guys, try and not involve your lower back into it. So keep your belly button pulled in, core slightly engaged, just so we're keeping the movement in the upper part of your spine. It's probably going to be a smaller circle than you think. Good. 10 more seconds here. So moving through the last rep or two. Good, we just finish one up to the other direction. And then once you get there, you can rest. Nice work. From there, we're going to go into a little bit more spine segmentation with our cat and cow. So you're going to be in a quadruped position, bring your hands right under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. For the first part, we're just going to arch and round our back. For the second part, I want you to think about segmenting your spine a little bit more. So you start tucking just from your tailbone and then slowly work your way up your spine. So you're trying to move one vertebra at a time as best as possible. So that part will be a lot slower than the first component. Get yourself ready, guys, coming onto all fours, and we're going to go into 60 seconds now. So keep the arms nice and straight, push the floor away, and then just move through your spine. Belly button to the floor, look up to the ceiling, and then tuck your chin and round that upper back. Good, guys. After your next one, come into that cat position, so round your back. Now try and keep everything rounded, but start from your tailbone and slowly untuck through the lower part of your back, and then work your way up, one vertebra at a time. You want to make this slow and controlled, so you stand a chance to move them separately. The chin is the last thing to come up. From there, tuck that chin in first, keep the rest of your back arched, and then work your way up. From your neck, upper back, mid back, eventually into your lower back, and tuck under that butt. You're going to go one more slow and controlled like this. Good, so slowly work your way up the spine. And then look up to the ceiling and then tuck that chin in first. And slowly curling yourself back into your cat position. Good, once you get there, have a rest. Into the next one, we're going to go through some rotations through that upper back. We're going to stay on all fours for this one. So you're going to come knees under your hips. We're going to bring our right arm in between the left hand and the left knee. You're going to bring it all the way down. Try and get the outside of the shoulder to the floor. And then you're going to reach up, rotate to the ceiling. We're going to go through 10 each direction here, guys. So get yourself ready, starting with our right hand. Take it through, thread the needle, outside of the shoulder to the floor, and then reach up. Look to your hand and the ceiling. Down for 2. And up. 3. And up. Good. You can use that left hand to push a little bit deeper into the stretch at the bottom. 4. 5. Pausing for that second in the stretch. 6. 7. 8. Nearly there, got a couple more. 9. And last one. Up for 10. Good work. Switching over to the other side. So pop that right hand on the floor and then feed that left hand through. Bring the back of the shoulder to the floor and then reach up for 1. 2. 3. 4. If you're going at a different pace, that's fine. Just work with what's comfortable for you. 5. 6. 7. See if you can get a little deeper into that rotation after the last 3. Good. This is 9. And 1 more. 10. Beautiful. From there, we're going to come back into a kneeling position and we're going to work through some circles for our shoulder blades. Arms are going to be in front of us. You can make fists or have your fingers reaching away. Imagine your hands on a shelf so they can't move up and down too much, and ideally they're also not sliding left and right. They're going to stay out in front of your shoulders. From there, we're going to bring our shoulders up towards the ears, pull them back, set them down, and then push them forward. So I show you side one as well. You're going to go up, back, down, and forward. And we're going to try and make these nice smooth circles. Okay, we're going to work through 5 backwards and then 5 forwards. So set yourself up, squeeze your fists or reach your fingers out, and then bring your shoulders up, back, down, and forward. Keep those hands nice and still in front of you and focus on just moving through the shoulders and your shoulder blades. Good, that's 3, 4, and 1 more in this direction. For 5, when you hit the top again, you're going to reverse. So you're going to push forward, down, back, and up. And it's quite normal if one direction feels a little bit more awkward than the other. So just work with it as best as you can. Elbows stay locked, ribs stay tucked down, We've got 2 more. And last one here. Nice work, guys. Give the arms a little bit of shake. They may have gotten a bit heavy with this one. And then we're going to move on to our hips. We're going to go through the circles in this one as well, and we're going to work back on all 4s. So I show you side on, and then we'll go through them together. For this one, it's important you push the floor away and your arms are locked, especially the opposite elbow to the leg that we're working. From there, engage your core a little bit so your back stays nice and flat. We're going to bring our knee towards our armpit, then out to the side, rotate it around behind us, and then lower it back down. Then we're going to reverse, so bring it up behind you, out to the side, and down. Set yourselves up, guys, coming onto our 4s, and we're ready to go in 3, 2, and 1. So push the floor away, right knee to your chest, out to the side, rotate it around behind you. Try not to arch that lower back as the knee comes up behind you, so you want to keep that core engaged, and then bring the knee around, only as far forward as you can without rounding through your lower back. And we're going to go 1 forwards, 1 backwards. Same as before, we're going to try and keep a smooth speed throughout this, so we've got the same tempo at each component. Good. Imagine you're moving through a little bit of self-created resistance or thick air. So it's not just a loose movement, you want to actually have to work for this one a little bit. Check in on your left elbow, just make sure that's not bending. If it is, push through the floor. We're almost there, guys. This is just our last rep. Finishing it. And once you're back at the front, you can rest there. Good. Alright, we're going to change over to the other side from there. So onto your left knee, ready to go in 3, 2, and 1. Pushing the floor away through your arms and shoulders, and then get into those hip calves. Make it a smooth circle, as big as you can without getting your back involved. Good. Keep your right elbow nice and straight, and you can just look down and forward so the neck stays nice and long. And it's not important that you get as many reps as possible with this one. It's more important you get good quality reps. We've got about 20 seconds to go. Nice. See if you can squeeze out a little bit more range here. Keep that belly button put in and the back nice and neutral. And we're just going to finish our last one here. Once your knee is back underneath your hips, you can come out of that position. Nice work, guys. From there, we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to go through a squat into a forward fold. So find a comfortable stance for your squat. You're going to keep your chest up high, come down into a squat. Place your hands on the floor or around your big toes, and then lift your hips up just as much as you need to get a bit of a stretch through your hamstrings. And then you sit back down into the squat and stand up tall. We're going to go through 10 reps together. Doesn't matter if your legs don't go straight, we just want to feel a stretch and keep the chest close to our legs. Okay, guys? So, into your squat stance, keep your chest up, down for 1. Hands on the floor, lift your butt up, sink back down, and stand. 2. And up. 3. Squeeze your chest towards your thighs. 4. And up. 5. In that squat, keep your knees pulling out towards the outside so they're not collapsing inwards. 6. Heels stay pressing onto the floor. 7. Almost there, guys. 8. Try and keep a nice long spine as well if you can. 9. And last one. Hips up, sink back down, and stand. From there, we're going to go into good morning, so you can bring your hands on your hips or across your chest, and your feet will be about hip width. Side on, it's important you're going to keep a long spine. So think about bringing the tailbone up behind you and lifting your sternum out and up in front of you. So you Stick the bum out behind you, keep the nice long spine, and then come back up to standing. We're going to go through 10 reps here. So set yourself up, ready for 1. And up. Think about sticking the butt against the wall behind you. 2, 3, chest is nice and open. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, good. Just 2 more. 9, and 10. Awesome, coming up from there. From there, we're going to bring our feet out into a little bit of a straddle. Hands behind the head, and we're going to go through a little bit more rotation work here. So hands stay here, we're going to go for double pulls and double pulls to the other side. As you do that, try not to bring your hips with you. Keep your hips facing forwards, okay? 10 reps here, guys. Hands behind your head, and then double pulls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, squeezing out a little bit more, 8, 9, and 10. Good work. We're going to come back onto the floor for the next one. Bring your right leg out to the side. We want to line your left knee, your hips, and your right leg up. So as you can see, both my knee and my foot are on the wide line. You're going to stay nice and tall through our upper body, and then we're going to sit our hips back onto your left heel and push back up. Squeeze your bum at the top. Okay? The closer in your leg is, the less intense it will be. So if you're feeling not much of a stretch, you can walk your foot out a little further and then sit back down there. So get yourself into position. We'll start with the right leg straight out to the side, and then sitting back down for 1. And up. 2, 3. You're going to feel a stretch through the inside of that right leg. 4, 5. Really squeeze that bum at the top. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 more. Sitting back and push back tall. Good, that's 10. Changing over to the other side. So just step the left leg out into a nice straight line. Line it up with your right knee. Come nice and tall through your shoulders, and then sitting down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, good, keep it up, and nearly there. 8, 9, and 10. Good, coming in from there. If you need to, you can give your legs a little bit of a swivel in between, and I'll talk you through the next one in the meantime. We're going to start this one in a lunge position. You can make this a little bit easier by dropping your back knee down. Okay? Hands on either side of your leg. We're going to roll the left knee out to the side towards the floor until you find a stretch at the outside of your left hip. We're going to then roll it back in. We're going to come up into a lunge, transition into a side lunge or Cossack. From there, come up to standing. We're going to go over to the other side. Sit down nice and low. This knee is pulling out. You're going to rotate into a lunge position, hands to the floor, roll your knee out to the side. Bring it back in, come up with your upper body from your lunge into your Cossack and back up. You're just going to go through 60 seconds rotating side to side. I'm just going to show you the first part front on as well. So if you're in the lunge here, you're going to roll the knee out to the side, but as you can see, my hips aren't moving over to the side, so we're not leaning our whole body like that way. We're going to just keep the hips where they are and bring the knee out to the side, drop the hips to the floor, and then bring it back in. So I don't mind which side you start on for this one, guys. Coming into a lunge position, bring one leg out in front, hands on the floor, and then ready to go. Roll the knee out to the side, find the stretch on the outside of the hip, come back into your lunge. Then come up into your Cossack, over to the other side. If this is too strong with your hands off the floor, you can keep your hands on. So I'll show you this one. Your hands can stay down, then you will transition up and over, and keep them for support. Good, guys. At your own pace, the heels stay pressing down onto the floor the entire time. And you're going to pause in each position before we move through. So Cossack, lunge, into your pigeon, and back. Same here. I don't mind how many reps you get in. Just flow through it at a pace that is comfortable for you and where you can keep quality of movement. So form over reps. Almost there. This is going to be our last one. And then coming back up to standing. Nice work, guys. We're going to move onto our shoulders next. So we're going to come back onto the floor. This time we are sitting on the floor, knees bent, and our hands are behind us. If you can, have your fingers pointing away from you, that'd be good. If this is too sore on your elbows, you can bring them out to the side. Try not to have them pointing towards your bum for this one. So fingers pointing away, open up through the shoulders, so chest out, and then squeeze your butt, bring your hips up towards the ceiling, and come back down. We're going to go through 10 reps together. Get yourself in position, and ready, let's go up for 1. Really squeeze that chest out, and down. 2. Try and keep your neck nice and long by looking either up to the ceiling or forward and upwards. 3. 4. 5. Really squeeze the chest out, shoulder blades together. 6. 7. 8. Try and get the hips aligned with your knee and your shoulders. 9. And 10. Good. From there, we're going into a plank position, and we're going to move from a plank into a downward dog. I want you to use your shoulders to push up into that downward dog rather than just lifting your hips. So I'll show you first, and then we'll go through them together. You're starting in a plank position. Feet can be slightly apart for this one. Push your floor wide. And now think about driving the floor out underneath you to push up into the downward dog. Then we're going to rock forward, tuck the bum under, squeeze your glutes, and then push up into the next one. So coming into a plank, ready to go in 3, 2, and 1. So lifting up, and then drive the arms out underneath you into your downward dog, and rock forward. Up for 2. Heels push towards the floor in your downward dog. 4. And forward. 5. And forwards. 6. Core is on as you rock into your plank. 7. Chest towards your legs. 8. 9. And 10. Beautiful, good work, guys. We have got one more. I'm going to give you 2 different options. If the first variation is a little bit too strong for you, you can work with the second variation. Okay? We're going to work through 60 seconds in this one. The starting position is our bear again. So knees are hovering off the floor. If you go for the Twisty Bears, you're going to step your left leg between your right hand and your right foot. Then you're going to lift the right hand, open up your hips and your chest towards the ceiling, and then you're going to step back down into your bear. So outside, foot goes through, open up, reach up and over. Strong push through that supporting shoulder. If this one is a bit strong, you can come back into our tablets, and we're going to go into a sweeping table. So one hand stays on the floor, the other hand reaches up and over, and then sweep over to the other side. If you do need to dial it back a little further, just come back to the tabletop raises that we did before. So get yourself set up in the variation that you are choosing for yourself. We're going to go for 60 seconds all together. Ready? In 3, 2, and 1. So push your floor away, step your foot through, rotate, and then step back through. Feel free to ease yourself into this one, and then as you find you're warming into it, You can push a little bit further. Try and reach your top hand over to the floor. Your supporting arm is driving the floor right underneath you, so the shoulder is not sunken down, but you're nice and strong through there. So push up and out. You're going to open the hips to the ceiling. You're already over halfway.